Fat Dag is a Weight Watchers leader in Indianapolis, Indiana. However, the views and opinions expressed during this podcast are his own. They do not represent the views of Weight Watchers. And now, here's your host and wingman, Fat Dag.
Cheers. I am your host, Fat Dag. You're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, all at Wise Advice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello there. Welcome to episode 242 of Wise Advice. And I got a quick show for you. One of my New Year's resolutions or goals, as I like to call them, is I want to make sure I get something out daily to you guys via the podcast. And that's one of the things I'm working on. And when I mean daily, I'm kind of more like thinking Monday through Friday and then amazingly on a Saturday or Sunday with, I'm really shooting for 5 days a week, something along those lines. I consider that daily, except for the, I say I do the show every single day, except for the days that I don't. But anyway, so what that means is there will be occasions like this episode 242 would be a little shorter than normal. I have 2 great emails that I want to share with you, and we're going to talk about the weekends. And so, Karen's chiming in on live. She says she rocks the weekend. 2 workshops at WW, prep every Sunday for the week, and it's all non-negotiable. So very, 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 very cool. The first email for this show comes in actually from Deanna, though. Deanna says, I'm a 27-year-old special education teacher and a longtime listener of your podcast. I'm down 60 pounds on WW since 2016. During the past year, I was basically going up and down, and this year will be different. Well, I know that 2019 will be my year to make goal. Why? Well, when I reflect back on my journey, there is one thing that remains true, always. If you work the plan works. So in the spirit of the new year and new members, I'd like to share what works for me and helps me work the plan. I'm in grad school and I work full time, and I know that in order to work the plan, I need to plan. Planning out my meals really helps me stay on track. My second tip for success is to move. Even a short walk is something to be proud of. Not only is exercise good for me physically, but it changes my mindset and keeps me focused and grounded. Well, finally, trust the plan. It works. You are not different. If you work this plan, it will work for you. It is that simple. Here's to a year of health and happiness, Deanna. Deanna, thank you for pointing out, sometimes we forget about some of the basics of this, right? It just works. I like to caveat it just a little bit and say, well, it works if you work it, right? There are millions and billions of people on the planet, and the reason that we still have an obesity problem on the planet is because not everyone works the plan. So the plan by itself does not work. You have to actually take the action to make the plan work for you. Slight difference, but I think that's what you're getting at as well. First and foremost, congrats on your 60-pound weight loss. Fantastic work. Way to go. Way to kill it. Since 2016, you're making it happen. You are being very, very deliberate with your actions, and that's why you're getting the results and the success that you're having. You are working the plan and making it work for you. So congrats on that for sure. Now, you bring up a very, very good point, is you have to have a plan. And not just a plan. We have the plan. The plan is WW is hand us a plan, right? Like you have so many points, you track them, you put them in the app, you track everything you eat. When you're out of points, you stop eating points, you switch to 0-point items. That is a plan. You need an additional plan to that. And I think that's a step that for a lot of us is missing. So we know we have a plan, and we know that that plan does work if we work it. So the plan that we need to create is how are we going to use that plan to make this thing work? That's the question I need to ask you. So finally, trust that it works, but find a way to make it work for you is how you're really going to find that success. And so I want you to stick with that mindset, knowing that the plan has to be you making a plan to work a different plan. if that makes sense. So congratulations on doing it. It's no different than like you said, going into grad school, right? And working full time is you kind of have to have a schedule. We know the college has given you a plan on how to graduate, but you have to figure out how to work that to get to that point. And that's what I want you to work on. And making planning your meals on the weekends and staying on track. That is absolutely helping you get where you want to be. So congrats on that for sure. Imagine trying to build a house without a plan, right? Can't be done. Not easily. It's certainly going to be a lot more work. It's going to take you a lot more time. But I want you to develop a plan on how you're going to work the plan. Do that and report back in. Her second tip for success is to move more, even short walks, something to be proud of. That's my hashtag attendance goals. I'm a firm believer in attendance goals, and so I want you to every single day do something deliberate that is somewhat in the exercise realm. And when we say exercise, most people think that you got to put on your running shorts, you got to put on your shoes, you got to do some sort of physical activity. But very, very so many things count as exercise, and activity is the much better term. So I like to say the attendance goals is what I'm looking for. Do something deliberate every single day, and there's no sense of going to a Navy SEAL cardio kickboxing workshop, and do so much workout that you can't move for another week or a month, and then you end up taking 2 or 3 months off from your activity, and you don't benefit from it. So what I'd rather have you do is have you walk in the gym and just sit, wave to the folks in the gym and walk out. Do that every single day. You will build up the momentum to get to where you want to go. Attendance goals. Do something deliberate every single day. And you're right, it does shift your mindset. That's what I want you to focus on is you're not using the exercise for weight loss per se. You're using the exercise to build the healthy habits and to convince your mind that you do matter and that you are in control of this journey and that you are actually the one getting it done. That's the lesson behind the attendance goal motto. And last but not least, certainly trust the plan. It certainly works. You're not different. It works. It's that simple. So, Deanna, thank you. Here's to you and a happy New Year. Happy, healthy New Year to you as well. Keep up the amazing work. Thanks for writing in. Thanks for reminding us some of the very basics of this plan. Those basics works is just, build a plan to work the plan and then set some sort of activity, movement more to get out when you actually need to do it. So thank you. Folks, I want to talk about the weekends. Terry out of Vero Beach, and I have this wrong on the screen. Let me see if I can correct that. But Terry out of Vero Beach says that, she writes in, let me just hide this real quick, and I apologize for that. She says, talks about the weekend, and the weekends are very important when part of this plan. And so a lot of us think, the weekends are just 2 days. If I'm good for 5 days, I can be, different on the weekends. And there's some reality to that. So I want to read her email, and then I want to get into a little bit of a discussion about it, and then see what you think. So Terry says, "Hi, Mike. I've been a member of WW off and on for years. My mom first had me start going with her when I turned 11. I'm now almost 60, and I've yet to make goal. I do great during the week, but then the weekends come, and I totally blow it. Since I've been listening to you for over a year now, I constantly hear your voice in my head. It goes something like this. Would you rather make goal or eat this? Well, it works for a little bit, and then I cave, and I totally blow it. I normally weigh in on Saturday mornings. I've even gone as far as changing my weigh-in day to Monday evenings. Well, that never lasts. I remember when I turned 59 last March. I wanted to get rid of 60 pounds by the time I turned 60 this March. Well, that's not going to happen. I only lost 10 pounds over the past year because of my crazy overeating on the weekends. I need help. I am so over this. I know what I need to do. Why can't I figure this out and keep moving forward? Thanks for all that you do for us. You're an amazing gift." Terry out of Vero Beach, Florida. Terry, thank you so much for your email. I've seen you. You're right. You've been here for quite a long time. I think you're doing fantastic because you're focused on the community. You're here and you're working it. So I want to celebrate that fact first. I think that is the number one recipe for success. Now, we do have to get beyond that. Showing up is 80% of the success is showing up. But once you show up, you actually have to do something with that last 20% to really get into definite, true, consistent success. So I want to rephrase your thinking a little bit. The very opening, you said, I'm now almost 60 and I've yet to make goals. So in the opening of your email, you've already set yourself up for that, the failure of what I haven't accomplished. I want to shift it, and I want you to celebrate everything that you have accomplished. And I have two different things for you that I want to talk. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot you another email after this, and I actually want to talk to you on the phone if that's okay with you. I would like to dig deeper into some of these questions, but I'll try and work through them here as best I can. But I do want to follow up in person with you. Because I want to work with you. I want to get your mindset to where it needs to be. But I want you now, before that, I want you to make a list of what you're doing right. Not the things that you haven't done. That is irrelevant. What you haven't done is completely irrelevant in this journey. So you say you do great during the week. That is fantastic. Continue to do great during the week. And then I want to know what that means when you say, but when the weekend comes, I totally blow it. Now, here's the game plan with the weekends. If you can do great during the week, Monday through Friday, you're tracking consistently, you're getting it done. What I want you to do is I want you to kind of try to find a way to make a plan for you can find a meal that you're eating during the week, Monday or Tuesday, and then all of a sudden switch that and have that on Saturday. And then, plan for it. On Tuesday and Wednesday, start thinking about what am I going to have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner on Saturday. And then on, Wednesday, Thursday, what am I going to have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner on Sunday? And if you have a busy schedule and you're doing a lot of things out, then find ways where there are restaurants that you can actually deliberately go to that are point friendly, that you can do well with. And I want you to do that. And so the overeating on the weekends, 2 days of overeating 100% negates 5 days of being fantastic. So I want you to understand that piece of it, because it's critical to understand that just 2 days, 2 full days is not going to, 2 full days of doing it, unfortunately, overeating on the weekends negates 5 full days of hard work. So think about the mental mindset here, right? You're doing really good for 5 days, but you're probably, you feel like it's a chore, right? You feel like if I can just get to Friday, I'm going to hang on if I can get to Friday. So you kind of, you're depriving yourself Monday through Friday and you're doing great, but then Saturday comes in and you release and you say, okay, this is what normal feels like. So slowly but surely, you just continue to work backwards from that point, and I don't want you to do that. Think about the analogy that I said before is if you were in the point and you were trying to stop smoking, let's just say, and if you were at the point where, if you tried smoking stop smoking Monday through Thursday, but then on Friday you started smoking a little bit, Saturday you started smoking a little bit, and then Sunday you started smoking a little bit, and then back on Monday you stopped. It would be very difficult to consistently quit because you never break the addiction and you never completely change the habit that is derailing your wanting to quit. And that's what I want you to understand is when you let loose on the weekends is you're allowing those bad habits to just continue to thrive. You're keeping that sugar addiction alive. I want you to kill this addiction off, and I want you to be done with it. So you can do great Monday through Friday. We know that. And so if you can do that, then what I want you to do is take a day out of the playbook from Monday through Friday and repeat one of those days on Saturday and Sunday. You do have to ask yourself often, would you rather make goal or would you rather have this? You don't have to always be right, but you've got to be right more than the 2 days out of the weekend. You have to be right, the 5 days out of the week. You got to have those days on the weekend be fairly close to right as well. That's the kind of game plan for you. And tracking becomes important. And it's the mantra of when you're at a point, stop eating points is very, very, very critical to your success. It teaches us that limit. And so there is a possibility, and that's why I want to chat with you on the phone. There's a possibility that what's happening is that you could be under eating during the week and then overeating on the weekend, trying to balance it out. And when the weekend comes, you just feel like you're starving and you just kind of feel like you just want to go after it. And I want to talk to you to see if that's what's going on, just because there's not enough detail for me here to really offer any sound advice. So I will certainly work with you on that as well. But anyway, that's the game plan for there. So how do you figure this whole thing out? You figure this whole thing out by doing exactly what you're doing. You stay engaged in a community of people who get it. You stay here with people who understand what's going on. And then you find a way to find out what specifically on the weekend is different than during the week for you. And how do we make a plan, like we said in the earlier email, to combat that? So keep doing what you're doing. Keep working it and hang in there in the Wise Wingman group for sure. We will carry you through. We will get you to the point that you need to be at. We don't want you giving up on us, and you haven't done that. You've been with us for so long. But what we want to do is we want to get you to the point where you're celebrating every little thing that you do. Every little piece that you do on this journey that is right, that is aligning with your goals, the actions that you take that push you towards your goals, I want you to celebrate them. The things that may not align with your goal, I want you to push them from your mind. I want you to move forward. I want you to focus and concentrate on what is going right. Build that list, and when you build that list, we celebrate. Folks, I said it's going to be a short show, and I want to know what is it that you're celebrating. Let's share it on the air. Go to fatdag.com. Click on the Wise Advice podcast to send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. I want you to email in your celebrations because I want you to be absolutely proud of what you're doing. When you're proud of what you're doing, the results just speak for themselves. The community understands it. Everyone else understands it. You feel better, and we all live happily ever after. Well, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you could focus. Thank you for listening to the Wise Advice Podcast. Did you know for as little as $1 a month, you can take the next step as a wingman and support the show? Visit fatdag.com, click on Become a Patron today.